Hey everyone, welcome back to the Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Today I welcome some special guests from way down south in Texas. We got the boys from Spock. We got Freddy, and then we got Ernie. How you boys doing today?
Good, man.
Oh, great. Yeah.
All right. And a special shout out to Andy Frazier, aka the Fraz Band, because it looks like you guys are getting together sometime in the near future to do a nice little Texas tour. Am I right?
July 2025.
Okay, is that far out? Okay. That's all cool.
Gotta start planning, man. You gotta plan.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Especially coming from another country, right?
I guess how you guys been recently? So I guess Freddie, how you been?
I'm great, man. Just doing my thing, playing music, listening to music, working. Recovering from Bell's palsy, which sucks. So that's about it for me.
And I'm recovering from a crooked jaw.
Got into a band fight.
Oh, you guys, a bad fight? Oh man, what's the story behind this?
No, I wish it was that cool. He got in a car accident, actually, right?
Yeah, I got hit by a dump truck.
Oh wow, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
You doing okay?
Yeah, doing good.
Yeah, that's all cool.
That should be a title track to something. I got hit by a dump truck.
Just one bad day after another. Probably something like that too. So just to fill everybody in, these guys are part of the punk group Spock. Or we like to do a little symbol from Star Trek.
So, I do this.
Yeah.
I'd change it up.
Maybe a nice little cage or a style or something. All right. That's all cool. So
it's an old joke.
But Freddie and Ernie, I want to welcome you both to my podcast right here. And the way this is going to work is going to ask you guys some questions. We get to know you more both as the musicians, but also as the individual as well here too. So, fuck. That's how I got out of the throat. So we're off to a good start on this already. So, right.
All good, man.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah,
let's do it.
That's good.
Right. So I guess, Ernie, we'll start with you here. So I guess tell us your backstory a little bit here. So I guess, how did you become a musician and who are you?
Well, let's see. It all started back in high school, kind of. So I was a shy kid. Nobody would even imagine me being on stage. But it's just one day group of my friends. We got together. It's like, hey, let's do a little band. And I was like, okay. I can't play anything, so I sung. But I guess it all started from there. I guess it's just from a shy kid to getting on stage. My first time on stage, I had to sing backwards, my back facing the crowd, till I got comfortable. But
doesn't Maynard from Tool do that? That's not totally out of the question, man.
So now it's like, yeah, that's it's. I started off as a like a new waver back in the 80s, 90s, new waver skater. Then got into punk music, and so that's where it all started. And this is where I'm at right now. So.
The way you were saying, almost like you had your back to the audience. People would almost figure a Jehovah's Witness had before you know it. Hey, I guess. Did you say you did choir back in school? I guess just to kind of help out and do any sort of classes to help with your vocal style.
I did take theater arts. So I was in drama class. Cool, yeah, I did a lip singing musical from Greece. What's that song? Summertime or something like that. That song.
Is there video of this, man? We gotta see this.
We need to put that on YouTube right there.
Yeah. And sync one of our songs to it.
I was in church choir, but nothing comes out of my mouth. I act like I was singing in church choir.
You did a whole lot of blessing by the Lord that day, so that's all good. But I guess just your role in the group right here. Are you just strictly a vocalist, or do you do any other instruments with the group?
Just strictly a vocalist. You know, if they need the cowbells, I'll do the cowbells.
All right, Will Ferrell. We'll make sure to have you at the top of the list. So, yeah. I guess, Freddie, I guess what's your backstory?
Oh man, gosh, this goes back to when I was a young kid. I always wanted to be a drummer. I even had like a little mini drum kit, and the typical. I've heard these stories before when a kid has, gets pillows and anything that resembles a drum. So I did that for a little while, and then as I got older, I think I was like 14, 15, my cousin picked up the drums. So I said, well, there's that. So I'm just going to go learn guitar. And so I learned how to play guitar. Or I started learning on my own, and I got lessons from a local guy that was in a rock band. And actually, there was just a documentary, and they were a big part of it. It was called, I think it was like Blood and something. It was about the back room in Austin. I don't know if you're familiar with that place, but the back room is pretty iconic. I think it's actually closed now, but it was around for about 30 years. And so anyway, their band was featured. They got signed by Geffen, and I was going through the timeline of this show and going, oh, I remember when he had to leave and do that. So long story short, I took guitar lessons for about 6 months or so, then started learning on my own, and kind of been in bands in and out all my life, man. We formed in '95 as a punk band. I think I just started college or something. But I always say, especially along the way, because everybody knows everybody around here, like most music scenes, you're never really out, man. It's like the mob, right? When you're in a band or a musician in a city, you always find a way back. You never really get out. So it's kind of funny because it always holds true, man. You always hear from somebody coming back, or they're playing, or they just got together. Yeah. So, but anyway, long story short, I guess.
Yeah, that's so cool. Actually, it's funny you mentioned about the mob life, because I'm actually getting back to watching The Sopranos. So I'm kind of digging that little TV series.
Oh my God, dude. I did that all through the pandemic. I would work and then have one screen with Sopranos, and I finished the whole season in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
It was sweet. Yeah.
Jeez. He was slacking on the job too. Well, I guess it was a work from home job. So
why not? Yeah.
I suppose so. But I guess, so what's the story between you two? I guess, how'd you two meet? Because Freddie, you said it was back in '95. I guess, was this one of those bar scenes where a guy runs into another guy at the bar and they just start chatting?
No, it's super simple, man. You want to tell him?
Yeah. I think it was me, right? That put the flyer up in the Hog Wild Records. Yeah.
There's an old record store that's still around here in San Antonio called Hog Wild.
Yeah. So it was
the college.
I think it was back in '94, '95.
Mm-hmm.
I put the flyer up looking for musicians to start a band, and that's how I, got in contact with Fred, and we got together, writing some stuff, and then we went through a couple bass players and a couple drummers, right?
Yeah.
It's
all a blur though, man.
Yeah. If Fred, go ahead and finish the story, because some parts of my mind's still like I can't remember some things because I'm like getting really old. I'm a senior.
I could have told you that.
I was like, Jesus, you're old. So.
No, really, it was the old school. Put a flyer, and you cut up little pieces of paper with the phone number and a description of what they're interested in. I don't know if it had punk or what. And so slowly we found Leo and Victor through, the other guys just kind of came along. They may have called you, or Leo did, and then somehow Leo knew Victor through some other means. I mean, we just, same thing, the music scene everybody it's incestuous. I don't know if that's, it's kind of that word. So yeah, that's how it worked out, and then here we are, we had that core, and started practicing and writing songs, man. It just was one of those things. We actually have an old video of a practice from 1995. So at some point we're going to use that video footage in a video where we can kind of show, because I don't know if Ernie told you, but we revived or recorded songs that we had not recorded back in '95, which was kind of crazy. Because it's like, you know, current Fred learning 20-year-old Fred's songs now, right? And going, oh shit, that's kind of cool. You know, I wouldn't have done that now because I'm just in a different headspace. But yeah, so that's pretty cool experience in regards to that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be the evolution of Spock. From I guess now it's gonna be
Yeah.
It's almost gonna be 30 years. So it's almost like you gotta do that as a
I know.
30-year anniversary.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
Yeah, it's when we formed back in '95, we were basically together for about we did quite a few shows and everything, but we kind of like went our separate ways uh, afterwards. And I've been out of the music scene for about 28 years. Got married and did the marriage stuff, but and our drummer stayed in the music scene, and Fred stayed in the music scene. The bassist, he was kind of I think he was out of touch on the music scene.
Yeah, he was making babies.
But we got back together. We all all original band members reunited back in summer 2023, and that's where we started learning relearning all our old stuff, and then wrote a lot of new stuff and put out our first EP, which was that Communication Lost that was released just back in January.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Freddie, were you kind of in and out with the group as well, or were you also a consistent member since '95?
No, after that, I joined several other bands, man, different genres, different stuff. So this band, I just rejoined, It was pretty simple. Pretty uncomplicated situation. We have our demo. We have, our first demo was on a reel-to-reel. My neighbor at the time had his own home studio, and he was in a band. But he was doing kind of like that kind of hair metal stuff, right? It's like nothing that we were into. And but he was cool. He was a really cool dude. And we bought an Amprix reel-to-reel, and he recorded us in like half a day, knocked out the songs, and we were done. And then we sent them off, and we made our own J card. It was all DIY, which it still kind of is a thing now. And we have cassettes. So we had our cassettes, and we relearned our cassette, or at least the demo. And then we had archive footage from the practices, so that's why we learned our other songs. And then, because there was a point where Ernie had to relearn some of his lyrics because he didn't have them written down.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun. He was able to do it, which is cool. But I know there's some more video of us, I think, opening for Goldfinger at the showcase in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Our bass player has it somewhere. Hopefully he can find it and we can dig that up. That'd be fun.
Yeah, he's not sure exactly what's on that cassette, so he doesn't want us to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it was like a search for buried treasure before you know it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do our own rendition of Treasure Planet next before you know it. So. And I guess between you two, I guess, can you guys just list for the audience what the current lineup is?
Our current lineup?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're looking at the two, right? I'm guitar, Ernie's singer. Leo is our bass player, and Victor's our drummer. It's just four dudes.
Yeah, the all original members.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty cool. And I guess jumping in here to the next question, I guess who would you consider has been your biggest influence in terms of, I guess, Ernie, in terms of vocal wise, and Freddy guitar wise?
Me. See, it started. I'd say probably Dead Kennedys, Bad Religion. I grew up with TSOL, and then even way before I merged into that. I was actually I was a Cure fan too. So Robert Smith was like at that time was wow the greatest writer. So a lot of I started my writing because of Robert Smith from The Cure, and so I wrote a lot of poetry and then a lot of songs, and then evolved from there.
Thought one of them was going to be Freddie Mercury. I was sorry if he was going that far, to be honest, but all right. I guess
That's fun. Man, I would have died to see Ernie in high school dolled up as Robert Smith, because I know you were influenced by like that whole goth thing, because we talked about it.
Actually, for Halloween, I dressed up as Robert Smith. I had my hairdo and all.
Yeah, I think we should do that now. Oh man, The Clash is one of my most favorite bands in the world. So, but growing up, Angus Young was super cool to me, and I used to like learn all his solos and things like that. So, currently, like Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. and believe it or not, Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction. I think they were kind of way ahead of their time in the early days, and kind of that they had their own kind of world of music, man. And I'm not talking like their commercial stuff, but some of the stuff that's kind of psychedelic on some of the records are always really cool and influential to me. So
it sounds like it's an Iron Butterfly sort of experience. Guy DeVita.
So. Right. Well, not that deep.
Not that psychedelic.
Yeah.
Not that psychedelic.
Just enough. And, I've always appreciated that they're against the grain. And of course, a lot of bands were. I mean, even if you think when we were writing music in the 90s, I mean, grunge was pretty big, and we didn't go that way. I liked some of that music. There was nothing wrong with it. It was cool. But we just kind of always did our own thing, and I think that's why I appreciated those kind of bands, like underground alternative bands that were doing their own thing, when it wasn't the norm, or the most popular thing. Everybody was like listening to Poison or some crap like that, or whatever. But there's Poison fans out there. I don't care. But just as an example. That's all.
I say we can't piss off the Poison fans, otherwise they'll give you some poison.
Yeah.
Anyway, actually, you guys had Pantera came out, who was like initially glam metal, or at least they initially started off as that, and then they went more into their heavier sort of metal style. So that was Aberdeen or Abilene. I forget what the town was called.
That Dallas area up there. So I actually saw them when they were releasing Cowboys from Hell at this small place called the Showcase, and they were just starting their tour, and on the marquee all it said was Cowboys from Hell. But me and my friends, knowing who that was, we went to that show, and it was a band called Dead Horse that opened, and I think they're from Texas too, and it was the biggest mosh pit I had ever been in. It was from the stage all the way to the sound guy at the back. It was insane. It was one of like the most memorable, crazy, insane metal shows that I had ever been to. I mean, I still talk about it now. You know what I mean? Like, it was fun. It was great.
I'm sure after that he was like, never again. I think that's pretty much how it was.
Story is though that they got their equipment stolen at that show afterwards. So
oh wow.
And they were just kicking off the tour. I think they were in Austin, then San Antonio, and then they were headed out. Anyway,
that seems to be a story like bands like way back in the day, or at least from like the 80s and the 90s. There it always seemed like someone's equipment got stolen. It's actually I interviewed the guys from Axminster. It was Steve Serra actually, and he told me a story of how Metallica's equipment got stolen, and they let Metallica borrow their equipment for the show. So,
nice. Oh,
cool.
That's always cool.
Oh yeah, it was so badass. So so cool. And I guess let's jump into the hard topic of COVID here first. So I guess Ernie, you can go first. So how bad did COVID impact you, family wise, and then music wise?
Music wise, yeah, we weren't back together yet till after COVID, but family wise, it affected us a little bit. It actually brought me more business at my Airbnb. I have an Airbnb downtown, and so the hotels are closed down. So it was actually a good year for my Airbnb. But and luckily, not it's, my wife and I we weren't affected by the COVID much.
That's good to hear. Though when you hear Airbnbs, normally there's always a bad scenario with those rowdy neighbors or the puke stains and everything else that goes on, like the partying and everything.
I never have any issues. I'm always I have cameras on the exterior part, so I'm always watching my Airbnbs. So it's not like um, these nightmares you see. I think they have it on Netflix, the Airbnb nightmare. Luckily, I haven't ran into that yet, so everybody's been cool.
We'll say turn it into like a horror movie experience next before you know it. And just real quick, Ernie, did you have any brushes with COVID? Did you ever get sick?
No, luckily, never got COVID.
Oh.
Yes. Well,
Yet.
yeah, ever. So hopefully ever. So I did get my shots, but still gotta be careful. But
Yeah.
Tread carefully. All right. And I guess Freddy, how bad did COVID impact you personally, and then family, and then music wise?
Personally, it took me a while, but I did get it, and it was weird because my wife got it before me, and she was sick, so I slept on the couch, separated, and we had both taken a test, and I get an alert on my phone from like an email. It said, "Oh, you tested positive too." And I'm like, "Okay." So anytime I've had COVID, I'm one of those weirdos that doesn't feel it. And when I thought I did have it, it was like kind of like I've had worse colds, I'll tell you this: the vaccine affects me worse. It affected me harder than the actual illness. If that makes sense. I don't know why, but I'm one of those people that has gotten it, and it just was not a big deal. Knock on wood, luckily. So, but I was in a band, and everything kind of stopped, man. It was so, being in a band at that time was really shitty because the venues weren't doing anything. Everything was shutting down, and so we had a storage space where we'd practice. I don't know if that's a thing up in Pittsburgh or not, but because it's cheap and you can keep all your shit there, And so we devised this like clear shower curtains, and we hung up wires, and everybody had their own little space. It was kind of funny, but we were trying to make do, so we couldn't infect anybody and still write music and play, So that was kind of our semi-solution. And we did that for a little bit, but ultimately that band dissolved. COVID really fucked it up, kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I will say we have plenty of storage space up here in Pittsburgh too. So
yeah.
But I don't know about putting up shower curtains and then try to do it that way. So that'd be an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So, and it's good to see you guys are doing well there too. So it's good to have you guys around here for the ride as well. So,
sure.
And normally I like to ask this question too. I know it's not part of the little script that we normally follow, but I guess can one of you two tell me how the music scene has been in San Antonio? I guess since COVID.
Oh man. I don't know. Ernie just got back into these things, right? I mean, you weren't going to shows.
Yeah. I just got back in.
There's one. I don't know if it's like this where you're at, but sometimes is it cronyism or, it seems that certain bands always get shows for opening for headliners that are really good, that don't necessarily even fit, or we have festivals come through and all of a sudden this band who hadn't played in 6 months or 8 months is on this bill, and it's because their friend is the one who's putting this together, and I know that's part of it, networking and all that, but it just kind of is discouraging to see this band hasn't done anything for a year, no EP release, they're still, nothing like that, and then they get these solid shows, so that always irks me, man. I don't know if that happens in y'all's scene or not, but it's just, I don't know what else to call it.
Oh, sure.
But getting people to shows, it's hit or miss, man. The scenes here is pretty solid. I mean, we get a lot of good touring acts coming through, but, we've got to compete with Austin. And sometimes we end up going up there to see shows or whatever, like Guided by Voices would never come down here, but I went up to go see them. You know what I mean? So that's kind of an advantage of living in San Antonio, right? We'll get more metal acts than anything, but we get cool stuff from time. I mean, Flaming Lips at the Aztec Theater was great, you know, stuff like that. So I think we get the best of both worlds. But the scene's been pretty solid locally too. I mean, I was part owner of a club that was down on one of the music kind of venue streets, and it was all DIY. We were across from a church, so we couldn't sell alcohol. So we had some really great underground shows, you know, that would come through, and plus we didn't have a time limit, so there's people who would book from 2 to 5 a.m., you know, and have like DJs, and we'd have awesome rappers and folk punk from Houston. Days and Days came through. I think they're on Fat Records, I believe. But regardless, so yeah, I mean, it's there when you want to find music. It's not dead. Music is still going, but it's you got to go look for it, man. It's not going to come to you. So
sadly, yeah. Though I would say some of the other interviews I have done, it was normally in spots like Tampa Bay or even up in New York, for instance, who have been like hot spots. They have like metal, but I know they brought in like other genres of music as well here too. So you then think about maybe music is kind of on a downward slope, and then COVID just seemed to like shoot it down even worse. So
yeah, the thing that bothers me is, I mean, there's like 1.3 million people in this town, right? And it's like, okay, you got 10 people at a show. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many people here. Live music should be supported better here, though. I mean, I guess you could say that anywhere mostly, but definitely here, especially for the population there.
Yeah, you're right. And I've actually interviewed a good number of people out of Texas already here too, which one out of Houston, and then one was actually up in Denton not too long ago. That was Tongue of Eden. Shout out to Eric Park, by the way. And there were a couple actually out of Austin. Now that I think about it here too. The War Against Time was a nice little progressive metal group right there.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So you got the musicians, so now you just need the people to come and support these guys.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Try to make it happen. So we'll see what happens. And like I said earlier, it's good to see you guys are doing well here too. So good to have you guys around here for the ride.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And I guess real quick, because I forgot to ask about this, I guess who came up with the name Spock? Was someone real big into Star Trek?
No, I did, right? And honestly, it was because it was part of the vernacular, like, and I looked it up, and I said, in the time that, you know, internet wasn't really a big thing back then, and I think Dr. Spock, it's like a child pediatric doctor or psychologist, is the only thing that came up outside of, you know, what everybody assumes is Star Trek character. I just thought it was a generic name that somebody would know it. Once you hear the word Spock, you kind of, you know what I mean? It stays with you in a sense. And I didn't think there was a trademark or anything like that. So we just went with it. And then I think Ernie started designing some things and then used some of the phrases. And so we embrace it, but it's not completely about, you know, we're not space punk or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just a name, man, that is synonymous in a sense and was there for the taking.
I'm going to say it's cyberpunk afterwards or something like that.
Whatever you want, you know.
Oh, about that.
It doesn't scream punk, right? I mean, it's just a word spot.
I guess, did you guys run into that whole issue with, I guess, the whole copyright with Star Trek or anything like that?
That would have been cool.
Oh, I think we're actually supposed to be on, was that Outlaw Radio Alliance? It's called a Star Trek Day coming up. They're supposed to be playing like streaming music and indie music and a bunch of other stuff during Star Trek Day. So they added us on there.
Yeah, there you go.
Because of the name, or
I would assume so.
Yeah.
And at times it would be the name, probably.
Yeah.
This comes on, it's like a punk group that doesn't even talk about Star Trek or anything else. So, okay.
Well, we do have a couple of songs called Spock's Authority. We have one's called Spock's Authority and one's called Spock.
Yeah.
But yes, Spock, they have nothing to do with the character though, or anything.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, the song Spock, it's I used some phrases from Star Trek to boldly go
Oh,
where
that's
the
true.
punks has gone before. Science outside by day, drinking beer all night.
Yeah. When we play that song, I think I see a punk dude walking around and just kind of being a punk, But that's true. I forgot you did say that.
I would say my favorite one-liner was always "Beam me up, Scotty." It was way back in the day of the William Shatner days. I guess when the very first Star Trek came out. So
I don't think we used that. That's probably trademarked. No.
Actually, it would have been funny if one of your lead guitars was Scotty, and then you just say, "Beam us up, Scotty."
All right.
Okay.
That's my middle name, actually.
Is it?
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, it would have worked. FSM. That would be all the initials of your name then. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, actually, I do use as our when we make our EPs, usually we make a little to like a record label name for our like EPs and stuff, and so I use 4 Vulcans.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, so it's contradicting what I told you, but
so there's 4 members in the band, so we're all Vulcans.
I don't know how you deal with these Vulcan idiots. I'm leaving.
Yeah, but I will not put on prosthetic ears for a show.
It looks like you got like elf ears or something like that with the so.
Not gonna do that.
Okay. Fair enough. I can see why. I guess, would you do makeup? Because I think makeup was always a big thing way back in the day for certain bands.
I probably wouldn't do makeup.
I mean, if Ernie was in his Cure days, he probably would have, but no.
Yeah, if I start putting eyeliner on, my wife's gonna look at me. It's like, "What's going on with you here?" But
I think people would look at you awkwardly too. So I mean,
yeah.
I knew Slayer way back in the day. They used to roll the eyeliner. That was how they used to do it in '83, maybe '85 too. So, okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think our bassist is probably the most fashionable one.
Yeah.
Fashionable member. So.
I guess how so?
Oh, yeah. It's just yeah. He does care about the way he looks. So he dresses up. He dress up like like pretty fashionable, I guess, or like a rock star, I guess. I don't know. I just go on with the t-shirt and short.
And that hat that you're wearing. That's part of Ernie's ensemble.
Yeah.
Is that an Adidas hat?
Yeah. All right. Adidas advertisement.
That's an acronym, though, right?
I should remember Korn did a song about Adidas, but it was All Day I Dream About Sex.
Yeah.
There you go.
I knew it before then, because I was like, oh, I can't believe they took that. Yeah, they did not invent that acronym, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Imagine not, but I mean, I was young and stupid, so I had no idea what was going on, to be honest.
There was that movement, man. It had its own moment in time. I was familiar with them.
I'd say you listened to it a good number of times too. So he's gonna raise his hand and be like, guilty.
Actually, I went to go see them back in the 90s.
Oh,
did you? Was that when they came out with just their self-titled debut album?
Yeah. No, it was actually for what was the it was the
particular album or something.
Yeah, it was some particular album. I only heard like some of their popular songs on the radio a couple of times, but I saw them on St. Mary's Street when they came down to Big Times.
More importantly, who opened up?
I don't even remember.
Oh, nobody ever remembers the opener, man.
Been overshadowed by the headliner, which is Cornet always opens up, "Are you ready?"
Oh, really?
Was a actually that's the way the song "Blind" always opens, which I'm assuming is always their opener because that's a hell of a nice opener.
Yeah.
So.
Blind, yeah, that was the song. Okay, so yeah, that whatever album Blind was on.
That's their self-titled debut album.
Oh, okay.
The opening track. So yeah.
All right. Sorry, we went down another avenue there. Let's.
It's all good. There you go. Hey, it's good to go down these rabbit holes every now and then too. So.
Dude, music is, I don't hate on anybody's musical preferences at all, really. It's one of those things where I respect your music choices, just respect mine. So
that's supposed to be, really. I mean, the world becomes a better place when people do that. So
unless you are a Nickelback fan, that's different. Just kidding.
Everyone's always trashing on Nickelback. I mean, no one has any sympathy after what happened in Portugal whenever they got pelted with like these little rocks.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
No, it was definitely not. So I feel bad. I mean, I got a little annoyed after I had to keep listening to "Saving Me" so many times on the radio. So
yeah, I saw a picture of the other day. I saw a picture of actually it was called Nippleback. It had nipples on the back.
I would have thought you would see that at Hooters or something. I don't know.
Yeah. what kind of sites are you going to, man? Dark website?
It was on a Facebook feed.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say this is the dark web that we're entering in now. So. That's Uncle too. So thanks for sharing the stories there. But I think going down these rabbit holes here, we're probably going to end up like Alice in Wonderland before you know it. Okay. But I guess, Freddy, since I'm seeing your gear right there of all the Marshalls and everything too, I guess, what sort of gear do you have to make the magic happen?
Yeah, I'm a big Marshall fan and always have been. So luckily I bought a lot of stuff when it was cheap because now it's stupid. I got a couple of vintage Marshalls, one that I use to gig with, and yeah, that's my live sound. Recording's a whole different thing. It's all Marshall based stuff that I use anyway in the when we do our studio stuff. So all smaller amps and little preamps and things like that. But yeah, I am a Marshall nerd, and I have like a ton of. I'm embarrassed to say, like, I think I've got like at least 10, 15 Marshalls, all from different eras. I don't buy anything new. I buy everything used. So, and this is over years, man, years of. But when I was in Spock, I didn't give a shit. Like, I used a crate amp head that I got at a pawn shop for $50, man, and I gigged that for as long as we were around, and it was cool. So.
I was going to say, caught at 50 and below. That's probably the store they probably should have named it. Almost like an adult in general. So yeah. So I see. And actually, I always keep thinking, whenever I see the Marshalls now, I keep thinking of Chris Boomer on ESPN. He's always like, Marshall, when it was Marshall Falk, the running back for the Rams.
That's right, yeah. That's cool.
He was always a funny guy. Always loved Chris Boomer. So
yeah, I don't know if he's around anymore, right?
I'll just see, but it seems like the guy is ageless, to say the least.
Yeah.
It's an age a day.
I can hear his voice right now, man.
Absolutely. Get a sports just a sec, but I guess Ernie, I guess what microphones do you use to make the magic happen?
Any microphone. Just give me a microphone. I'll sing through it.
I mean, do you got a particular brand? I mean, you got to be more specific here.
No, I don't really have any particular brand.
Ernie's that fuck, man. He doesn't give a shit about his mic. You hand him Fisher Price mic, and he'll fucking see through it.
I got I don't know what brand it was. It's an was it SM58 or something like that? Microphone, but
sure.
It's just whatever the venues have, whatever our practice studio have, I just use it. As long as I can project my voice, I don't care what it is.
Until he just goes right into the music store and just test out every microphone, and then whatever sounds good to him. That's how it rolls. So. Okay.
Yeah, there's
And,
something to be said for that. I like the fact that Ernie's just like, nope, whatever, I'm going to use it and make it happen. So
Yeah. It's the sound guy I'm relying on. Sometimes you get some sucky sound guy.
they're not naming venue. Don't name venues, dude.
Yeah, well.
So you're gonna see this right here. Then I'd be like, "Don't you ever come back here." So that would suck, to say the least, there too. But yeah, you gotta always rely on the sound guys to get the sound right here too. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess, so what venues are real big down in San Antonio? Now that you mention it,
There's a lot now. Well, I mean, the St. Mary's Strip always has live music.
Yeah, Paper Tiger on St. Mary's always has some big, kind of like big acts and stuff going through. But you got the Alamo Dome, which brings that huge acts in.
Yeah, but you get like Vibes downtown. They bring in
Oh yeah, Vibes.
they bring in punk shows, and I mean, I saw Social Distortion down there. The Tech Center is really cool because, yeah, Social Distortion and Bad Religion came through, and it's a brand new venue, like super badass sound system there, and just the right size, too. It's really cool, and the majority of seating is general admission, so it's all floor, and yeah, Tech Court Arena is really sweet. I think Smashing Pumpkins actually christened it when it opened like a year ago or two. Aztec Theater is one of my favorite. It's an old 1920s movie theater converted into a venue, and when you go in there, it looks like the old Aztec ruins and faces and stuff like that. It's super cool. The eyes glow red everywhere. It's just, I don't know. They don't make shit like that anymore. There's a balcony.
Was Aztec Theater used to be a porn theater? No.
Like a lot of them here in San Antonio at one point, yeah. But I remember they used to have like Bruce Lee movies and stuff there, which was cool when I was a kid, and I could never go.
porn theaters way back in the day, yeah.
And it's downtown, right by the Riverwalk, so it's like smack middle downtown San Antonio. Parking sucks there, but so there's a good handful of clubs or venues for in all different sizes, right? So like you were saying, Alamo Dome, the Tech Court Arena,
Sunken Garden Theaters.
Sunken Gardens get stuff too.
Yeah,
that's an outdoor amphitheater.
That was my first concert. Was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Oh wow!
I love rock and roll. I play that one.
That's the only song I knew from her back then.
So you know about everybody else on karaoke night. So yeah. It's either that, or I think rarely you'll get someone who does the Bad Reputation song. So actually, the way you were kind of describing this Aztec Theater almost sounded like you were going in to see like Iron Maiden with like the whole Power Slave.
Oh yeah, that would have been perfect. Yeah. They should have done that, but they're just too big for that venue. Because that venue, I think, is maybe like 3,000 people or so. Yeah. If you're ever in San Antonio, that's where I'd say go see a show.
Would have been nice. Unfortunately, if it was a strip joint way back in the day, I think it probably would have been too hard then. Everybody would be looking at the Hooters than than Iron Maiden themselves.
Yeah,
so.
Possibly. Well, that was a thing back at concerts, too, back in the day. I'll tell a quick story because I know I can talk a lot, by the way. So,
go ahead.
I went on a road trip into the Astrodome with one of my best friends and my cousin to go see Faith No More, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses. That was the tour. And we were there early. We were all underage, right? And so one of the things, the light guys were testing lights, and then they would find girls in the crowd, and the light would be on them. And that would force, and then people would be like, yeah, cheering. And so they would kind of show their tits. And so that's when you said the Aztec thing. I'm just trying to, there's a correlation there. So I don't know if that happens anymore, but that was kind of a normal thing, which was kind of funny, man. As young teenage kids, we're like, holy shit, this is great. The show before the show, right? So.
You have a nice little fantasy to think about afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about it in indoor venues. I haven't been to like any like outdoor venues because I think most of them always happen, obviously during the summertime. But I don't really venture out too much during like the wintertime, to say the least. So at least everyone gets into moshes whenever they do like the whole metal shows and everything. So you mentioned that, but no one's shirtless. But I do remember a Dirty Woman song by Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty much a good coincidence that there would be some topless girls there. So,
Nice.
And I guess speaking of which, of Ozzy Osbourne, I made a joke to Andy when I had interviewed him not too long ago, and that was when they were talking about they were getting together with you guys in July of 2025. And I told him, don't do what Ozzy Osbourne did, which was piss on the Alamo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really have.
It's tragic to say the least. So, okay. But I did hear Andy, and at the time it was actually Doug Ito, or Liam Browning was his name. They had came together, and they had came on my podcast and actually talked about everything here too. But let's hear your side of the story, I guess. How did you guys meet Andy and the Fraz band?
I met them through faced indie community on Facebook. We basically do support basically support everybody, all the other indie bands, put out playlists. Fraz band put out playlists. I put out playlists. And I don't know, we just kind of hit off. He likes our stuff. Andy likes our stuff. I like his stuff, and he was talking about playing a festival here in the U.S. next year. And I was like, hey, why don't you, after the festival, why don't you come down to Texas? We'll do a Texas tour. And I guess, I wasn't serious at the time, but, he kind of, I didn't expect him to say, Andy to say, yeah. From there, it's like, okay. So, I spoke with the rest of everybody in the band, and they said, yeah, they agreed to do a tour. So now it's going to be, I guess Andy's bass player can make it. So Dougito is going to fill in for the bass player, which is really cool. And I think Dallas is probably going to be our biggest show there. It's going to be, us, the Fraz band with Dougito, the Flying Beats, and EWL, and possibly Fire Drill Punk from San Jose, California. So it's like a whole indie community, like a indie band fest or something. It's gonna happen in Dallas.
It's called a Texan Lollapalooza, or that's it.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? I had a feeling it's like one of those stories to be like, hey, why'd you guys come over to Texas? And be like, no, wait, I wasn't being serious. But now at that point, you could say no. It's like, fuck, I got to figure out how I'm going to get through this.
Right.
No, but I thought it was a pretty cool idea. And it's pretty cool that Andy just wants to come to Texas all the way from the UK just to tour in Texas with us. I was like, wow, okay. I think this is going to be pretty fun and exciting. And it's going to be a good experience.
That's for sure. So,
yeah.
All right. Can't wait to see the magic happen right there, too. So you guys make sure you get plenty of videos whenever it comes around. So
I'm sure we'll do the Facebook streaming live or something for the event.
Get like an OBS or something, for YouTube and all those other streaming platforms as well. So
yeah.
All right. That's cool. So mark your calendars, people. I already did the one with Andy and Dougito. So
July 2025.
July 2025. So you at least got a year to prepare. So that's good.
Yeah.
He made it sound like it was a little bit sooner. So like, oh, maybe he's coming over here not too long, but nope. Got a full year.
Yeah.
Jumped the gun a little too soon. So sorry, Andy. So it's all good. But jumping back into the music here, I guess a little bit. But I guess, do you guys share responsibilities when it comes to writing the lyrics?
No, Ernie's the dude. He solely writes everything, and if he wants me to do backup vocals in certain aspects or parts, I'll do it and learn it. Takes me a little bit, and we get it down. But yeah, we write the music. He writes the words,
Mm-hmm.
and it works out. Like it's actually because he has a little library of stuff that he can. Like Ernie's really good about. Okay, here's our song, and it'll start out as music, right? And then he goes, oh, that's cool, that's good. And then he'll shuffle through his papers and go, okay, let me see if I can put this to it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. Let me add this or move this here, shorten that to make the chorus. And then I don't know. We knock on wood, but like we churn out new music pretty consistent, like on the back end, because now we're on our second EP in less than 6 months, I think.
Yeah, yeah. We just finished recording, so now it's just going through the it's being just the mixes and the levels and stuff like that, and we should have our second EP out pretty soon.
Yeah. So and then there's other music now that we kind of banked that's trying to finish. Like when we start writing songs, we know what's going to be a song. It just starts to work, right? It has a good feel or fit, and then we go, okay, well, we're going to keep that in our memory bank or pull that recording, and then we know that it's going to become something. At least that's how I feel. Sometimes there's songs that are like, I'm not sure that I like that, and then I have to give it a second listen, right? And then it's like, okay, oh yeah, I can do something with this, and then it turns out to be a lot cooler than what I thought it was going to be, right? So, but yeah, we churn out music pretty consistently or quickly, I guess. Some bands take forever, and it's just the way it is, right? Some bands might take a year to get their stuff out, and some might take 6 months or 2 months or whatever. So I like writing. So
I would say it tends to vary because I know for the bands that are like bigger ones, they always got to do like the touring and everything, so that takes up a good amount of time. They want to at least take a break,
right,
get back together with the family and all. So that's why you tend to see like increments of maybe like 3 to like 5 years before like the next album comes out.
Sure.
So,
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Ernie, for this question right here, I guess, what do your lyrics normally delve into? So do you tend to like curse the system? Do you talk about making love, that sort of stuff?
Actually, no, I do have a song called "Cool with Loving," but we haven't put that. I wrote that a while back, and we haven't made a song yet.
Shit, I'm gonna work on a riff, man.
But no, either they're either about bad relationship, maybe bad relationships, mainly from the past. The I've been getting more into writing more social issues, and I do have a lot of I do have a lot of lyrics that I have just sitting in the folder. That's just funny stuff, but but mainly it's a lot of social issues and relationships.
One of many girls that missed out on Ernie right here. So, unfortunately, there was a lot of high school or the middle school, that sort of relationships. So
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Freddie, I saw that. What are you doing?
I was giving him a clap, man, and a thumbs up, man.
Oh.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. Want to make sure you don't get left behind right there. So it's all good. But I guess when you guys are creating a song, for instance, do you guys always maybe start with like a riff, or do you sometimes have like the lyrics written down and then try to like build around them?
I already have lyrics written down, but we'll usually start off with the riff, then work around the riff. Usually either Fred or Leo, the bassist, will come up with something, and then we'll try to structure it from there. And while they're trying to structure it, and I'm helping them structure a little bit too, but I'm also trying to. I'll flip through my pages like Fred said earlier and see, okay, which one's going to fit to this particular music. So, but yeah. So, and then even Victor, our drummer, he always helps out with structuring too, because he has a lot of good input.
He's also our recording engineer and producer.
Yeah.
I mean, we all produce the EPs because we all have our input, and and we have certain production and arrangements that we add sometimes. But he's the one that mixes and finalizes everything, so we really trust his ear, you know.
That's pretty cool. So it's almost like two birds, one stone with now a recording engineer, so he can help you guys out.
Yeah, and I think that's what goes back to what I was saying. Like when we write music, it's easy for us to record, right? It's like we don't have to put time in the studio, and there's the cost is not there like it would be, because with current technology, you can do a lot of it at home now, and nobody would know the difference, right? Especially with the mixing is key. So, we're real
really
fortunate.
Appreciate having Victor.
Yeah, for sure.
Needless to say, we give him a little extra tip for the work that he does. So,
yeah,
thank you for your service, Victor.
That's right.
I guess have you guys have ever been in an actual studio to maybe record any of your music for Spock, or have you done it for like other bands?
I have. I've been in the studio quite a bit with almost every band I have, but the first EP was done in my neighbor's studio, and he had like a kind of a basement thing that stepped down. It was like he went full on because he was going to school to be a recording engineer, so he had the full 32 channel board and so Spock can kind of say that I guess that was as close as we ever got to a real studio at that time.
It's like a home built studio.
Yeah. Which wasn't common back then, and now it's super common. But it had its own drum room and everything. It was cool.
He went all out, so yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he spent the money.
That's for sure. I guess so. Ernie, was there something you wanted to add? Sorry, I interrupted you back there.
If it was something I forgot already.
We might come back to it here too, but here, let's jump to the next one right here. But you go first on this one, Ernie. But I guess in terms of challenges these days, I guess what challenges do you guys face being musicians?
It's probably meeting everybody's schedule to get together for practice sometimes. Other than that, it's like sometime it's actually my challenge is when we first got back together, back in 2023, trying to get back into singing the real fast songs.
Oh yeah.
And trying to keep it on, I went through so much at the beginning, just I was like, almost towards the end of practice, my voice is all gone and all that stuff. And now, but after, practicing, and getting used to it for a while, it's just, I got back into the groove and, how it's supposed to be done. But just being older and trying to sing these faster songs, like especially the older songs, that's like, it was a little challenge too. But other than that, it's not, we don't have too many challenges really. Just I think just meeting everybody's schedule to get together, or we got some challenges sometime on stage performing live, but other than that, it's nothing big. Fred, you got something?
Jose, you don't move as well as you used to, so.
No, nobody does, man. Just building dexterity as a musician and getting used to playing live shows again, But see, that's what's kind of cool about this band is like, hey, we need to work on this, and nobody gets offended. We're not like Ernie, like he was saying, he knows he needs to work on these older lyrics because of the way the speed of the songs are, and you get only so many breaths in some of these, in some of the way stuff was. And then think about it, when, like I was telling you guys earlier, 20-year-old Fred writing these riffs now, and then now is a whole, it's a lot of time that's passed. So, it's just natural to try to get back to that. But challenges as a musician here, also I thought about was, and I kind of mentioned it, was, like that cronyism and getting people to shows, getting people to come see you live, right? So we have a really good following. Ernie's done really good about getting us on playlists and things like that. But trying to build and get people to come out is like it's always been a challenge to get, and it takes time. We've only played 4 times in San Antonio this year or so we got to get out there a little more, but I think that will come in time. We just got to be a little bit better about promoting it and then getting stuff out there.
Yeah, so what I also I kind of offer too when we play live is we stream all our shows Facebook Live. So give the opportunity for people who doesn't live in San Antonio to see us live. See us perform and stuff like that. So the turnout is actually pretty good for the Facebook Live. Either they can't make it to the live, they always watch the reruns of it, and always get really good responses from everybody that watch those videos. So I think it's it's helping us get a little more exposure, and plus give a chance to everybody else from that lives outside of San Antonio, or maybe somebody that couldn't make it to the show can watch us live on Facebook. So
that's a pretty cool idea. I guess do you guys just put a phone somewhere, or does someone in the audience kind of record from a certain point of view?
Yeah, I'll put a phone up with a tripod somewhere.
And just hit play, and then like, hello world. Here we go.
Yeah, except the last show is towards the end of the set that my phone kind of died. Everybody's like, my Facebook streaming just froze. I was like, that's because my phone died.
Well, it was really a promotion for our EP, Communication Lost.
Yep. Just say that was a little revenue stream lost right there.
Communication Lost.
What the hell, Ernie? You were supposed to charge the phone the night before. That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I just had a busy day that day.
Yeah. I guess another challenge for you guys, because I'm assuming you guys still work multiple jobs. That's I've already been Airbnb overseer, as I like to give the title. I guess, Ray, do you still work multiple jobs?
Well, I don't. I'm part-time, actually. I was in IT for like 23 years, man, and so I did that gig for a long time, and just have all my ducks in a row about that. And so now I just work part-time and write music, so it's kind of cool. So I work for higher ed, actually, and I like working part-time and having all this free time to contribute to the band and do things that I like to do. So yeah, I'm pretty fortunate from that perspective.
Yeah, I guess. Ernie, do you still work multiple jobs outside of Airbnb?
Actually, I do. Yeah, I do the Airbnb. I flip houses, and I drive for Uber and Lyft.
And he plays our music during these pickups, right?
Yeah. I'll play everybody's playlist during these pickups, so the passengers can listen to the playlist and help out these bands in the indie community to help build up their Spotify streams.
Yeah, I always thought that was cool.
That's a nice idea right there. So that's definitely not a bad idea doing it. If you're Uber, Lyft, I guess you do. Yeah, DoorDash and Grubhub. Do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a nice idea right there. I think he's onto something.
Yeah.
That's all cool. And I I guess in terms of social media, first off, I guess, so what social media are you guys on?
That's Ernie's domain, really.
Yeah, I'm on basically let's see, Spock is on Facebook, Instagram, uh that new one I just joined, Threads, uh TikTok, YouTube.
Facebook Live, or whatever they call it now. Stream.
Yeah, that I think it was those. Yeah, those are it. I think. Yeah. So
I guess, was it on the Facebook group Band Together where you met Andy and the Fraz band?
let's see, where did I met Andy through um I think the EWL indie review show. I don't have you watched that?
I've seen like little clips of it every now and again here too, but
Okay.
just kind of
Yeah,
fascinating through really. But
with
that's like,
with Crazy Tim. He's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
looks like
crazy.
interesting fellow right there too. So I've seen some of it, but not really like fully committed to it. But
Yeah.
that's where you guys met. Okay. But I was kind of leading into this question right here too. So for musicians on social media, I guess even in your neck of the woods, given San Antonio's size and population density too, I guess, what advice would you give to those musicians? And Ernie, if you want to start first, and then we'll do Freddie next.
Um, say just keep doing what you love doing. You know, it's just either you're doing it just as a hobby, or try to do it professionally. Just keep pushing at it. You know, it's just don't give up. Um, you know, if it takes you somewhere, it takes you somewhere. You know, but to me, it's like for me, it's for you know it'd be cool, to take us somewhere, but it's for my also for my mental health. So, music definitely calms your soul and your mind, and letting your emotions out. So, it's one of the best way to relieve your stress. So just keep doing it. You need to relieve your stress, become a singer.
Yeah,
Scream it
scream at
out.
the top of your lungs. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess Freddie.
Well, yeah, don't get discouraged, man, because everybody's good, right? For the most part. Sometimes it just takes a lucky break for somebody to notice you, or to get a gig. And I'm not saying to get signed or get big, but to get good shows, or you meet other people. That's what's good about being in a local band, local scene, is that you meet interesting people along the way. And sometimes they're really cool, and then they want to work with you or do things that kind of, this is in the social media aspect, but even locally, right? So music and being in a band it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it, right? I can say that much. So yeah, and then you'd be surprised how many you find out, oh, this guy plays this, or this, so I don't know. I think it's a good way it's another way to communicate. It's another form of art. And yeah, I would never give that up. It becomes part of you, and it's just, and it's a lot of fun, man.
It is always fun. Yeah. So
Yeah.
always good also doing a lot of collabs as well here too. But I guess speaking of which, have you guys done any collabs with like anyone in the indie world?
Actually, not yet, but yeah, we're in we're still in talks with Andy from the Fraz band. Where we're actually talking about doing a collab. Uh,
That'd be nice.
so it'll be maybe we'll get one done before the tour.
That'd be cool.
It could be your opener whenever you kick off the shows and everything. So
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
or the closer, right?
it could be the closer, yeah. That way then
their parts,
any of them just come right in afterwards. So yeah, that would be nice.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good. So let's make the magic happen here, people. But Freddie and Ernie, we've briefed the questions here pretty good. So here, let's jump into the fun ones. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
All right. So Ernie, you can go first here. So I guess, what'd you say is currently your favorite food?
Favorite food, Korean. I like Korean dishes, barbecue.
Is it, I think there's a dish. Is it called bibimbap or something?
Bibimbap.
Bibimbap. Is that how you pronounce it?
Bibimbap.
Bibimbap. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was always pronouncing it wrong too. I always got mixed up. And unfortunately, it was a HelloFresh dish, and sadly, I think the soy sauce never really panned out, to be honest. So that was
Oh.
kind of a bit of a downer. So, needless to say, not real big on that Korean dish, at least. But it's interesting too. I guess, is there a lot of Korean places in San Antonio?
Yeah. Actually, my wife's Korean. Yeah, so she makes some good Korean home cooking too.
I can attest to that.
I'll tell you, at least they marry here for looks. I mean, that's something too.
Yeah.
Okay. And Freddie?
I say it depends, but Texas barbecue and actually Korean barbecue, because one of the studio days, Ernie brought some Korean barbecued ribs that were awesome. So that was really cool. I like Thai curries too, and Mediterranean.
Thai curries.
And there's tons of Mexican food in San Antonio, so I can eat that whenever. It's not a big deal, but I do enjoy Mexican food. But I would say Texas barbecue, Thai curry, and Mediterranean would be my top three.
I was going to say, well, yeah. I mean, you're not too far away from Mexico either, so you at least get a good amount of Mexicans in the dishes.
Oh, yeah.
Working its way up. So
for sure.
I'd say there's one good thing about immigrants. You get a good amount of their food, too. They can at least bribe you on that. So.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, why would you send it back? They make good food. All right. Not to get off topic there, but that's just a big political talking point. So, okay. But Ernie here for the next one, I guess. So, what would you say is currently your favorite movie?
Currently, let's see. I don't know. I really don't have a favorite right now. Maybe some slasher movies or something, but
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like that one too. But I say my favorite movie, maybe out of all times, probably be either Hackers or Gleaming the Cube.
I think I've heard about those ones. I guess. So
No,
what are they about?
Hackers, but not the other.
Yeah, Gleaming the Cube is a skater movie with Kristen Slater. Back in the 80s, the mid 80s, 90s. Yeah, mid 80s came out when Thrasher, that skate movie Thrasher came out.
I'll say do a nice little kickflip. Were you a big skater back in the day?
Yeah. I used to skate a lot back in the day, back in high school.
Yeah, the roots back then too. So yeah, all right, that's cool. And Freddie?
Oh, Big Lebowski, man, that's an easy one for me. It's like I can watch that anytime. There's certain movies like I can name a couple, but once they're on, I can't stop watching them. So Big Lebowski's one of them. Goodfellas is one of them. Office Space is one of them. Step Brothers is another. Like, there's so many good quotes and stupid stuff in it. It's so fun.
Kind of like Breakfast Club.
No, but okay.
It has a lot of good quotes there.
Oh, if you say so. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Big Lebowski, though, is my top, for sure. And if you haven't seen it, you should see it.
I'll say I must have been a big John Goodman fan, I guess. So
I like John Goodman. He's cool.
Yeah. But no, he's been recently. I think he actually really shedded a lot of weight. So
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Hoping he's doing okay.
Yeah.
So he's been a badass actor, to say the least. So
yeah.
Okay. And already here for the next one, I guess, in terms of drinks, both in terms of alcohol and non-alcoholic, what would you say is your favorite alcoholic drink and non-alcoholic drink?
I guess for beer wise, my favorite is Shinerbach. Um, I guess beer is Shinerbach. Liquor would be um, Crown Special, the or Jack Daniels. But non-alcoholic would be probably like either a Red Bull or a Monster Energy drink.
It's something to keep them going all night. So actually, that's why we cue the music all night long.
He was here about a month ago. Anyway.
Who sang that song? I never.
Lionel
Richie.
Yeah.
You know, I probably heard like a rendition of its song. It was a. Well, actually, I thought it was a Mountain Dew commercial at one point. It was a.
Possibly.
I don't know. It was like having at night. People were like having these night vision goggles. You're like seeing all these animals and their lips syncing to the song. So,
cool.
But it sounded like it was done by somebody else. I don't know if it was not Lionel Richie himself, but somebody like took it like did a remix of it. Or something.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty cool at the time. So I don't know. But good choice nonetheless. But I never heard of what'd you say the one was? A Scheiterbach or something?
Shinerbach.
Yeah, Texas beer. It's made came out of Chandler, Texas.
It's like 90 miles east of here.
Yeah.
Big a devil. All right, that's pretty interesting. And Freddy?
Oh man, I was drinking. If you saw me earlier, a Dutch Brothers iced latte. It's called a Golden Eagle. It's super good. It's worth getting. I don't know if y'all have those up there, but Dutch Brothers is all over the fucking place here. Anyway, it's like to another level. But that's my favorite, like non-alcoholic. I like beer, like Modelo's, Pacificos. I like all kinds of beer. It doesn't really matter. Whiskey and Mexican Coke is good, like Makers and Coke. But Mexican Coke is where it's at. Like, it just tastes better, and I don't know what it is. So, like, San Antonio, being so close to the border, I don't know if they get Mexican Coke up north, but it's just all in bottles. They're supposedly use real sugar and the whole thing, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's sugar cane.
Yeah. And then I like Suntory whiskey, Suntory highballs, man. It's like Suntory Japanese whiskey with club soda and a wedge of lemon. It's really freaking good.
I'll say it sounds good, yeah.
Sounds really good.
It'd be like it's good. But it's got to be Suntory, man.
I was just thinking sugar and Coke. It was almost like a sugar cane Coke or something like that. So,
Yeah.
I know. This sounds like an odd mix. So, hey, those are great choices nonetheless here, too. And I don't know about, because that was a coffee style drink you were drinking, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's Dunkin' Donuts in our neck of the woods. I mean, that's this one. So,
yeah, I could see that. They're all
I'll try to add.
And they were everywhere, man. So I think it's a northern thing, right?
Something like that. I'm not too sure, but
anyway,
I guess to certain parts of the America, to each their own coffee maker, we should say.
That's right. Yeah.
And Ernie, for the last question right here, and this one I like to twist up a little bit. But here's how it goes. What is currently your favorite song in the mainstream world, and then one from the indie world?
Okay. From the mainstream world, my favorite song would be Do What You Want by Bad Religion.
That's mainstream?
Well, I wouldn't, because, well, it's not indie. So I guess it's like kind of like, well, Bad Religion kind of went mainstream a little bit.
Yeah, but they're no Green Day, dude. That's mainstream.
Yeah.
I mean, we could call it purgatory if we wanted it to, as a card between indie and mainstream. But I mean, I'll take it. But go ahead.
But it's just like, it's been so long since I've been listening to mainstream. All I've been listening to are indie bands. these indie bands sounds a whole lot better than a lot of these mainstream bands. But it's there's so many indie bands that that I like. It's really hard to choose, but it's but there's a song I've been listening to is uh they're by um they're by Uphill Avenue. You can find them on Facebook. Um, it's a song called 48 Volts to the Heart, and it's a song so catchy, and it's got a lot of energy, and it's just once you listen to it, it just sticks to your head like all day long. Uh, but yeah, check out Uphill Avenue on Facebook. They have another band called Convention Killers too. So.
Convention Killers. That's how we at least know to take up to like a Capcom or any of those sort of conventions you get out in LA or something. Okay. But fair enough. Thanks for sharing those indie groups too. So huge shout out to them as well. And Freddy?
Yeah, the mainstream thing is a little tough because I don't really listen to mainstream on a regular basis. That's why I was like, Bad Religion. I guess in our world that could be Bad Religion. I mean, mainstream. But,
yeah, to me, yeah.
I don't know. That's a good. I can tell you what I'm listening to now. Really, I don't I really like Santi Gold, and I don't know if you've heard her. She's super underrated, I think. And then I've been listening to New York Dolls too. So it all depends, man. You know what I mean? So, but mainstream, you really got me on that one, dude.
I mean, you wanted to go Green Day since you mentioned it earlier, so.
Yeah, we used to really like them, but some bands got to change and evolve. I was listening to an old cassette of Metallica, which was off on the EP of Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All. It was a dual EP that was kind of cool that I didn't even know I had, so that was kind of cool. But that's not mainstream anymore now, right? So, or the early stuff, the new stuff is mainstream. So I don't know. Let's say anything by current Metallica would be my mainstream, and I don't even know what they've got right now. There was something 70 Seasons or something like that. There was a last record. I heard some. I think I heard some tracks off of that when it came out, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. They're really rocking out now, or like they used to, kind of.
72 Seasons, but yeah.
That's what it was. I don't know why or what, but it's called that. But anyway, it seemed like a cool record.
Yeah, actually, I heard Chasing Light. That one wasn't bad, but
okay.
It was more of a harder rock. I normally like to say too. Maybe some elements of thrash here or there, but many people would tell you the old Metallica was.
Oh man,
the old Metallica was a whole lot better. I like the old.
Yeah,
Metallica.
It was really good, really cool. Like I said, I was just listening to it last night.
I was gonna say we need to resurrect Cliff Burton or to maybe bring him back into the group.
Oh man, when they get that technology, that's one of the first things they're gonna do. I heard.
It should be like a Futurama where they just do the head part only.
Yeah.
So, all right, but great choices nonetheless here too. So, and actually, I have a friend who's actually traveling around seeing all the Metallica shows that they're doing in and around upper part of. I guess they're doing the upper part of the States because there was one in Massachusetts and now I think they're in Chicago now.
Yeah.
Traveling with Pantera.
That should be fun. Yeah, because I mean those guys, I know they throw 3-hour shows now or 2.5. They don't fuck around. They're really good at what they do. Even if it's not, I completely understand why somebody wanted to see the shows because of the energy, and they're still doing it.
That and their songs are each definitely over 4 minutes. I don't think they ever did. A lot of songs are 3 minutes and shorter.
Yeah.
So, all right. Great choices nonetheless, you too. Yeah, strong support to Metallica and my good friend Mark Young, who's the one traveling. So,
man, sounds like a good time, Mark.
Oh yeah.
Safe travels.
But Ernie and Freddy, we're down to one more question right here. We actually talked a good bit right now. Actually, I think we're getting close to an hour and 30 minutes. But I guess before we jump into the last question, did you guys have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
Fred, you have
anything? No. Thanks for inviting us, man. This is always fun.
Yeah, thanks. Can I do some shout-outs?
If you want to do now, yeah, go ahead. Normally we wait till the end, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought this was the. I like to do a shout out to to the groups that is helping the indie communities, like Sweet Beats, Indie Music Discovery, OTAT, EWL, the Fraz Band, and Box and Sticks. But I appreciate helping us, the whole indie community out, and getting more exposure.
Yeah, it sounds good. I guess, Freddy, did you have anything you want to say before we jump to the last question?
No. Thanks for doing this again. And
thank you.
It's really worth supporting independent bands and people's art, So anybody listening, I just say that when you got opportunities to do that, you should.
Absolutely. So, right. There's nothing else right here. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, we appreciate you inviting us on for this interview. We heard that you were a legend.
Yeah, I get that a little bit. I think I get it more from the UK, so they seem to love me over there. So, cool. Actually, it was Simon from Redial Destination. I think he started it too. So, thank you, Simon.
Shout out to the Clash then. One of UK's finest exports, if you ask me.
Absolutely. Okay. I just want to make sure I don't want to interrupt anybody. I guess anything else, or can we jump into the last question?
I'm good.
Okay. So the last question kind of goes like this, and given what COVID has done, obviously, seems you guys have been pretty blessed. You weren't impacted any sort of negatively as bad as like some people have been. But for those musicians and people who've been impacted by COVID or anything else in their lives, what's their message of hope? Could you get to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in a post-COVID world? And we'll start with Ernie.
Just keep what you're doing and don't give up. Just always stay positive about everything you do. You'll be okay. Fred?
Short, sweet, to the point. So, right. I guess Freddy, go ahead.
Yeah, so in regards to hope, right? A message of hope out there. And for me, I want to remind people that music is not dead, right? It's just kind of in a different format, different world right now. Go out and experience live music and art, right? Both of those things. I mean, music is a form of art. Go out there and meet new people because of it, right? It gets you out of your basement or your room or wherever you're at. And now that you have that opportunity that we can all meet again, should take advantage of it because everybody knows what it was like to be isolated. So go out there and experience it, interact with people with similar interests, it's a good thing, It's always good to meet new people and understand different perspectives of art and different music. And that's how we grow, and that's how we also build communities. And you might not suspect somebody that your neighbor could be a Rancid fan, and you never knew until you were jamming stuff outside and y'all started to, So that's what it's all about, building community based on music and art. So it's a little long-winded, but I think there's hope out there as long as music and art exist and people are able to freely express it no matter what.
And punk's not dead.
The punk is never dead. So
yeah. And support your local bands.
Oh, wait, no, Freddy is the spokesperson, so.
Yeah, I think I could do it.
And spoke like a bunch of true prodigies, as a quote from Pulp Fiction. So.
Oh, damn. That's one of my favorite movies, too. Thanks for that.
Oh, you forgot to mention it.
Shit.
You got Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, dude. All of his movies are great. Even the last one I thought was cool. Anyway.
Yeah, that's for sure. Though I think, unfortunately, the ego has gone to his head, unfortunately.
A little bit,
got his big head, yeah. So, okay. So, Freddie and Ernie, we reached the end of my podcast right here. Boy, oh boy, did we talk for a good bit. So,
yeah.
Although we had some technical difficulties with Ernie in the beginning right there, so that's why we started a little later, but it's all good. But I guess you guys got any final words? Any shout-outs? I know Ernie kind of jumped the gun, but I guess, Freddie, you got any shout-outs?
Yeah, it's 2:30. I'm going to go see USA basketball against France. Even though Wemby is a Spur, I am a Spurs fan coming from San Antonio. So, yeah, I'm going to go pop a beer and watch that game.
And keep an eye out for our next EP. It's called the Spock Files. We have a new single out on Spotify and YouTube, all the streaming service, called Boarding Flight. Go check it out.
That'd be cool. Actually, I was trying to figure out how to do it with the X. That way, it's still at the X in it, since it was like the old X-Files TV series. It'll probably be like Spock's Files or something like that. So, I'll leave it to you, but nonetheless, good choice nonetheless. So, and just for the audience sake, can you just list what social media and streaming platforms you guys are on? And I guess also the show you guys are doing next year with Razban and Flying Beats?
You can find us on basically, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Let's see, something else. There's so many of them. I think
we have a link tree, so if you can find us on a link tree, you can get all our platforms out there. So.
YouTube too. Yeah, like and subscribe our channel. We got a lot of videos on there.
Or not.
Check out.
Hopefully, we got some videos on there. So.
And then keep an eye out for it's the main bands that actually tour. We have confirmed touring is the Fraz Band, EWL, and Fraz Band with Dougito, EWL, and us. And Flying Beats will open up for us in Dallas. And I'm sure we'll have for Houston, and we'll have probably a band from the local indie community that will open up for us in Houston, and possibly definitely we got some in San Antonio that's been in the indie community, and Austin. So those are the 4 main cities we'll be touring. So keep an eye out for that. July 2025.
Yes. Mark your calendars, people. July 2025. All right. Yeah. It's going to be so badass. All right. So let's close out like this. So, everyone, my guests today were Ernie and Freddy. They're part of the punk group Spock, hailing from San Antonio, Texas, right here. The Alamo, as we like to say. We represent the Alamo. Right. So make sure you guys go hit them up on the socials. Go hit them up on streaming platforms. Let's go help our brothers out. And like we said, mark your calendars for July 2025. They're all coming. I'm going to say that. They're all coming.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it.
I would say.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I was going to say the British are coming, but. All right. That's all good.
Have a good rest of the weekend.
And once again, shout out to Andy and Dougito for mentioning you guys here, too. That's why we got to make this happen here. So,
sweet.
You guys stay safe. Y'all rock on and good luck out there, boys.
All right.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.